real video about connect the dots, and I want to talk to you guys about something. Now, I don't have graphs, I don't have screenshots to show you, none of that. But I do have a history of breaking down connect the dots. There's a reason why I'm talking about it right now. And you guys are all going to watch this later. You're not going to watch it live because no notifications going out when I'm going live right now in Vegas. I'm traveling right now. But the headline yesterday like sparked my mind, and I started doing some homework. And so I'm going to give you this example, okay? A lot of you guys know about private equity. We've talked about it tenfold. If you guys don't know about this show and this Abercrombie and Fitch. So, grew up Abercrombie fan for a long time. Never could afford the clothes really. Didn't have the image of the style that you used to. I looked funny because I didn't have any money. But hey, look at me. No, I'm joking. There's a song. No, okay, really. Here's the thing about connect the dots. I started following private equity a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, and like every deal that they've done, and then I noticed a trend. I was like, they're going bankrupt, or there's sex trafficking involved, there's human trafficking involved, allegedly. When you really think about what certain people have done in this environment, so watching what happened with Bed Bath and Beyond, that really gave me the heads up because it was Sue Gove, and you follow her history, it takes you all the way back to Zell's Jewelers, and she was 25 years. She was at Zell's Jewelers, and she was the vice president of the whole company. And then I started looking like who was at that company, individuals like Robert D. Nicola, who was the first CEO after Apollo bought the bonds, and everyone started investing into the company. Now check, now we all know the story. That's Connect the Dots part 17 and 14. Like go watch those episodes. But we're at 77, guys. And it was just announced yesterday that the former CEO, this is crazy. Think about this Connect the Dots, okay? You guys ready? The former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, Mr. Jeffries, was arrested. He was arrested, and the stock went down in price yesterday, whatever it may be. But he got arrested in Florida. He had been married previously. He has a boyfriend now. I don't think his wife knew about what he was really into. And I don't care about the personal stuff. It's about business, right? So this guy was a CEO till 2014. But from 2014 to 2017, no one really was a CEO there. There was like interim, until they hired Fran. Now, Fran, I forget her last name, she's the current CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch. So I had to go look at her too. Because this guy gets arrested for human trafficking, sex trafficking. And what it was alleged was back in the 2000s, he was offering models, as they call them, the brand ambassadors, the male models. He was offering them sex, drugs, advancement, potential advancement within the company, and deals and jobs, just basically jobs, and using sex for it. Hundreds and hundreds of people came forward. And so finally there's a class action lawsuit last year that was filed. And then now you have the actual, criminal lawsuit, the criminal case that's coming down right now. So he gets arrested. But it's kind of weird. Kind of weird when you do the history and homework on this guy. Now, I can't show you the screens only because you guys can say this is documented or not. Go ahead and Google me if you want. Google the information I'm about to tell you. I'm 100% accurate on this. Jeffries, the guy named Jeffries, last name Jeffries, the former CEO who just got arrested from Abercrombie. He used to work for Federated. He used to work for Federated back in the 80s and 90s. And you know the connection I have with that, how that actually got over to private equity end. And then I believe in 92, he was hired by L Brands. And if you don't know who L Brands is and why that matters, that's Sue Gove, that's Jeffrey Epstein, that's Leslie Wexner, that's Apollo, that's Connect the Dots, guys. Epstein Island, sex trafficking kids and everything they do. Now, I'm telling you that the direct connection between private equity and that and who funded that, same reason why Leslie Wexner gave power of attorney to who did they hire? They hired Jeffries. Who do you think made that hire? Now, you can tell me it was Leslie Wexner himself or was it Jeffrey Epstein? But they're doing the same thing, right? Trafficking. Now, here's the crazy part. Allegedly, because he's not guilty yet. Comes from Federated, goes over to L Brands. Now, we all know Sue Gove used to work for L Brands, right? We know this part? Cool. The other private equity firms that owned the other companies that this new CEO of Abercrombie Where that? Because so Fran is her name. She gets hired in 2017, moving forward. And do you know what she does? Where she used to work? She used to work at like Ann Loft, Express, all the companies that were, and the parent company of Express, I should say, all the companies that are in private equity retail that are going bankrupt. So how the hell do you get this job? Because you're there to bankrupt the same company you're with. But there's a run on Abercrombie on price action and on value. Remember, Abercrombie makes around $200 million a year net profit. Yet their stock price, and that's just this year right now, ever since these allegations came up, the civil lawsuit in 2023, from that date that dropped, for the next year they pumped this stock. It's gone up over 300%. From $50 stock all the way to $200 stock. It has ran, okay? And I'm not answering these phone calls. I don't know why they call me. But it's been running up in price. And you're like, what are they doing? They're pricing in this hit that's coming to them. So, okay, but let's go back. Let's go back to before. L Brands, Leslie Wexner. Why do we talk about this? Why do we talk that this is how it's funded? Back in the day, Apollo Global Management was Drexel Burnham Lambert. Okay? Drexel Burnham Lambert breaks down, crumbles, it's gone. It's gone. The government shut them down. But every single employee of that company went and formed their own new company. And Apollo Global Management was the birth of that. It rose back up. So between Sybaris and all these other firms that came out of that too, these guys are doing private equity deals left and right. But remember where they first started. They started at Zell's Jewelers. So anyone who's ever worked for Zell's, you should be aware of where they're at today. You should be aware of the board of directors at Zell's, where they've all gone to. Chico, they've gone to, oh my goodness, all these other companies, guys. The World Mart, they've gone to GNC, they've Claire's, Linens and Things. They've bankrupted everything they've touched. Anyone who was at Zell's and moved on forward. You want to know what's the crazy part? Crazy part is Zell's was bought out. Zell's was bought out by a little company called Signet Jewelers. And I've shown you the CEO, right, of Signet Jewelers. Do you want to know what's the craziest part about Signet Jewelers? The current chairman of the board at Abercrombie and Fitch, Terry Berman, I can't remember the last name, but it's Terry is the first name. B-Man, something like Berman. Abercrombie and Fitch, chairman of the board. Signet Jewelers, almost 25 years. I can't make this up. If you're not tracking, if you're not paying attention to what I'm telling you, listen clearly, okay? You want to make a bet on investments? You want to bet where these companies are going? They're all going bankrupt. Anyone that has private equity within it, but they're passing themselves around just for the fees themselves, right? Private equity. Company ever survives, guys. Based off the fact that they hold shares. It doesn't work that way. They make fees. They make an annual fee. They get paid. They cash out. When you're managing a fund, you literally get 2 and 20. You get 2% management fee and 20% of the profits. How do you generate profits? You oversell it to the next guy. And the next guy is private equity. It's your buddy. It's your friend who's going to overpay, hold it for 10 years, and sell it to the next guy. It's as long as you can keep that brand and that name alive. I'm telling you, you guys want to talk about Abercrombie and Fitch? Being sued for all of it. Only the cool kids wear our clothes. No fat people. You want to talk about child inclusion? Abercrombie and Fitch has been sued before for selling thongs to little girls, t-shirts that say, check out these, for little teens. What were they thinking? What were they doing? It's because they were exploiting children. That's what they were doing. And who was at the cusp of it? Who was at the top of it? L Brands, Victoria's Secret, Leslie Wexner, Jeffrey Epstein. Go look at it, guys. Go ask yourself who had power of attorney for Les Wexner during the 80s and the 90s while they're hiring the CEO named Jeffries, who just ran him out the shop right now, who's getting arrested right now for the same thing, human trafficking and sex trafficking. You think I'm making this up? Go Google it. I got to do all the work for you. Who's the finance behind it all? Who's the money behind it all? That's what you need to look at. Jeffrey Epstein just doesn't get consulting jobs with no college degree, with no leadership, nothing. No. He got the jobs They got everything because there was money behind it. And you know who the money behind it was? Allegedly, Leon Black. That's who. You know, sex and allegations go a long way. I've seen false reports about Mark Cuban hitting on Dirk Nowitzki's brother and trying to get on 2012, 2013. This shit went viral. Now he sells the team now and it goes public. And you're like, what the hell's this? Does Dirk even have a brother? Like, you have to do all your homework again. But when it comes to connect the dots, you don't have to guess. You know where it's headed. Leon Black funded Jeffrey Epstein's island. Can I say that, Leon? Are you going to sue me for this? I ask you, Leon, why the hell did you resign for the head of Apollo? You're worth $10 billion. Your kids work there. What's wrong? Your tax advisor, Jeffrey Epstein, killed himself? Were you shaken? Shaken to the core? Jeffrey Epstein had power of attorney. Jeffrey Epstein did everything with L Brands. He wasn't an official employee, but he actually met with the leadership all the time, telling them what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, because he was in charge of Les Wexner, the billionaire. Yet everyone you guys are looking at on the news right now worked for L Brands. Sue Gove worked for L Brands. This new guy, Jeffries, worked for L Brands. And Abercrombie & Fitch's price of the stock from $50 in 2023 all the way to $200, $199 in 2024. Why are they pumping one of their private equity plays and the company only makes $250 million? Is that something? $3 billion in revenue, $200 million in profit, and you're telling me I should be invested into that company? And it's gone up 300%? What about GameStop? What about it, Marantz? How easy is it for them to tie their hitch to Ryan Cohen? You want to know why they're doing documentaries about Ryan Cohen and Bed Bath & Beyond and GameStop and not about AMC? Because Ryan Cohen's not in it. You want to be the victim? You guys want to destroy Ryan? You can't. You're trying, but you can't. I've got Bed Bath & Beyond guys posting on Twitter right now about Gustavo Ernell and that whole relationship. I've already told you. Pay attention. Read more than the headline. Go look at all the board of directors. Look at the chairman of the board. Look at Harriet Edelman. Oh, you can't? You can't? You don't know she came from... They all come from the Solo building, guys. They all come from Avon. They all come from Zales. They all come from private equity. And they hold hands. Go watch Connect the Dots. This is part 77. I'm quick. I got to go to breakfast this morning with the wife. It's been amazing this whole week in Vegas. Oh, God. Went to Gillies last night. That's at TI, Treasure Island. You know what's crazy about Treasure Island? JD Vance is going to talk there tomorrow night. And I already have tickets and we're going. So we're going to go watch JD Vance. We're going to go watch Donald Trump at the Mack Center. And you know what's the craziest part? Not a Democrat has announced where they're going to be, but yet they're here in town. Bill Clinton speaking today, and it literally said this morning, TBD. They don't know where. Then you have Jill Biden coming tomorrow. Who wants to watch Jill Biden talk? I don't know. Maybe she's not tending to her husband this week. You know, diapers and all. And then you have Walz coming. Walz is coming, and he still doesn't know where he's speaking. Nobody knows where the Dems are speaking, but Republicans, they know where they're speaking. Get your voting in, guys. I don't care. I don't care if you guys don't watch me. I'm doing my thing. But remember what I'm telling you guys. Remember what I'm telling you. Abercrombie & Fitch is a pump and dump. It is not worth nearly 300% of what it is. Pay attention. We formed a new higher low on the 200-day moving average. That's pretty cool. I bought my one share today. Couldn't afford two. Not today. I'm on a budget today. After all the money we spent yesterday, I gotta pace myself. But one share is good. We're gonna try to do our meet videos in Fremont today. We're gonna try to go down there and film. But we gotta eat first. We gotta get energized, get ourselves up. I gotta shave. I already showered, but gotta get everything together. Get dressed. Put the the uniform on. Get up there and start talking that shit about GameStop. Give everybody a chance to win some prizes. I'm gonna do my thing. You guys do your thing, okay? Watch the whole video again if you want to know what's going on in game. What's going on is Abercrombie and Fitch. They're pricing this in. And there's no way. There's no way you can tell me otherwise. You can run from the past. You listen to me, private equity. You guys can run from it, what you did and how you did it. But it's all there. And I wish the prosecutors would figure this out. What I'm telling you. But if you don't see the ties between this gentleman by the name of Jeffries, that was Abercrombie and Fitch's CEO from 2000 and whatever to 2014, he was hired by L. Branson and Jeffrey Epstein and Lex Lesnar. Remember it. Go watch it. Go Google it. I think I'm wrong. They know what they were doing. GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop GameStop. You can't stop GameStop. You bet against it, but you can't stop it. It's pretty apparent. You gotta go. They're all dirty, bro. They're all dirty. Mama, I'm ready to go get some food. Let's go.